Hey, what's up, guys? I'm so excited about this week's smart idea. So, we always say we're not your doctor, right? Well, today I'm here to say I'm not your therapist. Jack, could you imagine me being your therapist?
That's a scary thought.
So, today I've got a. So, the foundation of Insulin IQ is really about truth and science, right? We're a science-based company. What's Ben's favorite saying?
Show me the data.
Show me the data, right? And so we really have an easy time, and I do when the clients come in, they don't know much about insulin. We teach them about insulin resistance, the science behind not having to track and measure and count, and just really focus on insulin. They get that part right, and they do really well. So I want to talk about a client that I had that came in on Thursday yesterday, and he's just doing super good. His doctor sent him over. He's really insulin resistant. He's been dealing with this most of his adult life. He's doing well, and we're talking about his success. And I asked him a question. I said, "What is the biggest challenge that you see moving forward?" And he said something to me that I don't know if I've heard before, and I kind of want to get you guys' opinion on this. He said, "I'm most worried that I've been using my weight as a excuse or a barrier for me moving forward in my life, whether it's marriage or success at work. It's always been there as an excuse. And I'm worried that if I don't have that anymore, that I got to take complete ownership of my behavior." And I just sat there and thought about it. And so I want to get you guys' take on this a little bit. Fear was his biggest worry. And I just had never heard that before. But I get it though, right? Addictions can be scary. And to overcome that, sometimes I have clients that it seems like when they get to that 100-pound mark where they've lost 100 pounds, it's kind of hard to get beyond that, right? Because that's their whole goal. And they kind of maybe plateau around that. We got to work through some other challenges to get them over that hump. And so I kind of want to talk to you guys about maybe some of the things that you've seen that kind of hinder people's progress, like fear.
There used to be a weight loss clinic just down the road from Rich's gym in Elevate that had an image that's really interesting. It's an image of a lady that was obese. She was unzipping this obesity and a smaller, figure is coming out of the obese lady. Does that make sense without a
Oh,
picture? Anyways, the image is interesting, and I think fear of weight definitely can be a barrier that we put up between us and others, or us and ourselves and our future success or whatever. And I think recognizing that's really great for your client to be able to see that that's kind of a stumbling block that he's worried about. I had someone just today say to me, my blood sugars were so great that I decided at lunch to eat the chips and salsa kind of as a reward. And I just wanted to say, like, okay, so if you were an alcoholic, you would reward yourself with a beer because you didn't have beer yesterday. So you're going to give yourself a beer today as your reward. We got to think of we have to step outside the mindset that's kept us in this place for so long and think of new ways to think, find new ways to process information. Chips and salsa should not be the reward for keeping your glucose down. And fear should not be the motivator for staying overweight, for keeping us in that space. It's tricky.
Well, and from the opposite, I had a patient yesterday, I believe, or the day before, young, skinny. I mean, like BMI of 18, skinny, eats nothing but Chick-fil-A and Takis. And mental health is just in the toilet. And it's funny because the weight was a different kind of barrier. It was I can eat whatever I want. Look, I'm still skinny, but when we start talking about their actual health, and how your insides are functioning and how your brain is functioning. And the conversation I had with her, it was really sweet because the parent was there and says, somebody's got to get through to her. And I said, honey, you are going to be the only barrier to your success. You have a wonderful support system. You have wonderful resources. Money is not a problem, whatever. And then I said to her, do you have a dog? And she says, yes. And I said, do you love your dog? And she says, yes. I said, would you feed your dog Takis? And she says, oh no. I only feed him this kind of food that did it. I said, okay, let's focus on something too other than weight and general health. And don't let either one, not wanting to let go of the weight, or two, if you're at your weight, then I can just eat whatever I want, be a barrier to overall general health.
A couple of weeks ago, I had a guy that came in, and he's got some metabolic challenges, and he had a shirt that said, I've conquered anorexia. And he thought it was funny. And I told him, I said, you really haven't, because anorexia and obesity really, for some people, it's the same disorder. It's the same disease. It's all about control. And when my client said he's afraid, what he's afraid of is that he's been obese his whole life. He said he's been obese since he was a young child. He's always struggled with
his identity.
It's just his identity. He's afraid of not having that. He feels safe in his addiction. And it's just so fascinating that we love to talk about science, but there's so much more that people need help with to overcome all of these different challenges as they try to get to metabolic health and improvement. And we love science. We love Ben. And there's another part of this that kind of creeps in as they start going through these different levels of their health.
Yeah, I think I like the idea that you have to choose your hard. Everything's hard. Whether you choose to take control and manage your metabolic health, that's going to be hard. And whether you stay obese and don't worry about it, that's going to be hard. And really trying to decide which hard is more appealing to you, and then going after it, and, trying to be laser focused on that and make the choices that will help you to reach your goals can be helpful. And analyzing the emotions behind your behavior and trying to figure out, why do I feel this way, and how can I make shifts and adjustments there?
Well, and Carly, we see the data now coming in from people that have had gastric bypass and people that are using Ozempic. If they don't change their behavior, it's not going to stick.
Right.
They're going to get sick again.
And changing behavior is really based on changing mindset in many cases. And that's so difficult to do. It's interesting. It was just yesterday, we had one of our new community members who signed up for the 10-day trial and went through the 10 days, went through another month where they actually were a paying community member, but sent me a long email yesterday saying, I tried so hard to get myself motivated to go to the meetups. I know I love Insulin IQ. I love Ben Bickman. I love your course. I love your materials, but I just couldn't get over the hump of getting myself disciplined enough to go to the meetups. And so she said, please cancel my membership, because, she had been with us a month plus 10 days and hadn't attended any of our support groups. So it's a tough thing. It's tough.
But we can do hard things at Insulin IQ. And the great thing, Jack and guys, is that the foundation of Insulin IQ is based on truth and science, right? Once you get that down, then we can start working on these other behaviors to make a true change in your life.
Well, great, Rich. Thanks for bringing that up. We'll see what our community members have in their minds during our meetup today, and see if we can share some things that will help all of us. Thank you, Rich.
Awesome.